Welcome to the Premier League show. What have we got? We've got 2 left and then there's a break of Premier League football. World Cup 2022 is all... I don't know whether there'll be any of that going on. Maybe.
Full Roger Miller.
Full Roger Miller, the RN there. Before that is upon us, of course. This is the penultimate weekend before we break. But last weekend, a lot of big results at both ends of the table, even though it is quite tight. But Manchester City were in action early on Saturday, going to Leicester. It was a chance to go top of the league versus a team in the bottom 3. Leicester have had a poor start, and it was won by an absolutely brilliant free kick by Kevin De Bruyne. City had had a lot of chances. Danny Ward actually made some good saves for Leicester in this one. And at the other end, Leicester had a couple of great opportunities with Tielemans hitting the bar and near the Emirates, tremendous corner. But City just looked, even though they were excellent and they had a lot of opportunities, they were lacking the killer instinct of
just a little bit
a certain Erling Haaland who has been absolutely unbelievable since he come in. I think he's put any doubters to bed, any doubters who may have been sat on the play.
There was only one doubt,
wasn't Rory did have a little bit of a nightmare with this one. He's been incredible, and over on the playlist this week they are talking about players who've had the biggest impact, and Erling Haaland has certainly probably had the biggest impact so far. But this is what the lads on 888 Sport playlist had to say about it.
Every Manchester United fan will tell you what a breath of fresh air he's been. But I'm not going to let that overshadow the fact that Jesus above him has his team's top, and it's amazing. And Haaland is just.
May I make a case for Gabriel Jesus top? Just in case you want. I'll make the case, and then you can dismiss it if you wish. In terms of the impact on the teams, in terms of the current standing of the teams, I think that with or without the signing of Haaland, Manchester City would be either at the top of the league or very near the top of the league and most likely to win the Premier League, with or without him. Without the signing of Gabriel Jesus, I honestly think Arsenal would be at best in the conversation for top 4. So in terms of the change, in terms of the impact, in terms of the difference, I think Gabriel Jesus has had more of an impact on his team than maybe everybody else combined. I think he has completely changed the entire perception and entire expectation of a club the size of Arsenal. Where do you think Manchester City will finish the league with Haaland? Do you think they'll be champions?
Yeah.
Where, just hypothetically, where do you think they would have finished the league without Haaland?
Without Haaland, Jesus and Sterling?
No, presumably they would have kept a striker. Presumably they would have kept Jesus. You think they'd win the league, presumably?
There you go. Discussion there. So, yeah, I mean, it looks to me like Haaland has made, obviously, the biggest impact, been incredible. He is back this weekend for Manchester City. But it was a big win, that, wasn't it? Because that is even though Leicester haven't been great this season.
Leicester normally give them a good game, didn't
they? Do well.
I think the beginning of last season, did they put 5 past them?
Battered them, didn't
they? So it's always a tough game for them. So, potential banana skin. And, we're no large parts of the game. Leicester just defended and tried to soak it up, and they did quite well at that. It was a great goal, and that's what great players do. And I think that's what the boys and girls are talking about there on the playlist is you want big players to make a big impact, don't you? And that's what 3 or 4 players have done this season. That top players shouldn't really take time to settle, and Haaland certainly hasn't. And I think that's a game. That's a game. I think there's had this discussion. A lot of people have had this discussion about would Haaland score any more goals, or it's not whether City will score any more goals than they do. It's the type of goals they score with Haaland, isn't it? He's the one who scores that one goal, that clinical goal that separates you when someone sits in. In this game, it happened to be Kevin De Bruyne with a wonder strike. But in another game, we've seen in the past, clubs have sat in and made it very difficult. Whereas in this season, with Haaland, gets that one goal, and it changes the game. We used to have it with Lukaku. Top players do that, don't they? Yeah. So
take the game away, don't they? So a great win for City there. Spurs, who were obviously having a good season as well. They were 2 down at Bournemouth. Kiefer Moore, who is a big lad, made it really difficult for them. And Bournemouth 2 up with, 30 odd minutes to play. And then Session and Ben Davis drag it back, and then Bentancur
rollercoaster
grabs
week.
the winner.
Rollercoaster week for Spurs.
It's been a mad week.
Not been in great form of recent, and then they go 2-0 down, get a win, and then obviously Champions League they go through top of the group with last kick of the game as well. So it's been a big week for them. A lot of people doubting the Conte, style of play. Because if you've got to play in a way like that, it's got to have results, hasn't it? It's got to bear fruit. And this week's been a good week for them, and disappointing for Bournemouth being 2-0 up. Who've been in decent form, but I think the last couple of weeks haven't been so great for them. So, good week for Spurs though.
Spurs were the better set, 20 out attempts at goal, and dominated the possession, but Bournemouth, and especially Kiefer Moore, a handful. Brentford drew 1-1 with Wolves. Ben Mee with a kind of bicycle kick.
Fair play.
But Brentford ahead, and then Wolves equalised. Ruben Neves, great strike, to make it 1-1. And then, Diego Costa announced he is back. And
Full Costa
in the 97th minute. Got himself sent off for a headbutt and an arm swing. And therefore, 3-game ban for violent conduct.
Yeah, he's wanted a few more extra weeks off. The break wasn't long enough for him, so now he's back for Boxing Day against us, isn't he? I think so.
Are they in the Carabao Cup?
I think so.
If they are, then if they're not, he misses the Everton game. But he's a loon, and this is the reason why.
Fair play.
Reason why, when people were touting him around, other people were going, nah, no thanks. But Wolves can't score goals for love nor money, can they? And that they needed a striker, and he was available, so they did have to take the opportunity on, take the chance on him. I'm sure he will score goals for them this season, but he's you think he'd learn, and he's so easy to get involved, isn't he?
I don't think he'll learn that kind of stuff.
The thing about it is, though, you don't get them days are gone now. We're getting away with anything like that, aren't they? They're just with VAR, they're gone.
Heat of the moment, people don't think like that, do they? They just react.
Yeah.
And he is very much a reactionary person.
He is a reactive person. Graham Potter, looking sharp, and beards and turtlenecks and all of the other good stuff, as John Blame will say. This season went back to Brighton and was destroyed.
Well, he ultimately he looks like a Bond villain, and he got the Bond villain treatment, didn't he? At the end of the day,
he's surprised he got booed. He looked a little bit upset by it. I
really liked what he said at the end of the game. He came out and basically said, "I can hold my head up high. Look how good their team is." He said, "I created that," and I thought that was a brilliant statement. That was their first win under their new coach, and I thought that was a really good statement. He said, "I've caught them on a good day for them, or a bad day for us, and that's my team." Basically, he said, and I thought that was brilliant because. Yeah, I mean, it was.
Did they have a right to boo him? Not did they have a right, because football fans have got a right to do that.
No, the Brighton haven't got a right to anything. So,
okay.
Well, they are. Ultimately.
No, but let's be. In your opinion, was it wrong of them to boo him?
Yes.
After what he's created.
The manager who's done really, really well for them. It was a time to make the next step up, and he did it. And
they should have really applauded that.
Yeah, and players have done that. And then they bring the next player in, and they brought the next coach in, and they had the next. That's how football works. That I know this summer's been a bit of a big upheaval for them. Lots of change, but it seems it's been quite seamless for them. I know they haven't been doing well the last few weeks, but they've gone and beaten Chelsea 4-1, and they're ready to move on now. And that's football. That happens. We're all, everyone is a little fish now. There's only a few big fish, and they can call them whenever they want. So I think it was a little bit wrong, but it's football.
I mean, the game itself, Trossard, some tremendous feat to give them. I've got to say, some awful defending by Chelsea. They'd already tried to give them 2 goals, but Trossard scored. Thiago Silva passed one, then had to run back and had his own mistake off the line. And good goal by Trossard, and then 2 own goals. I would love Everton to have a day like that. Just basically gifted Brighton the goals. They were 3-0 up at half-time. Kai Havertz scored a goal just after half-time. A header. I was disappointed with the goalkeeper, who I think's excellent, but it was a bad bit of goalkeeping. Header straight at him, went through him. But they'll go and get a 4th in injury time through Pascal Gross. So a great win.
A
great win for them.
And, you know, after a couple of weeks where they haven't been doing so great, they're
the
back on it.
The 3 points behind Chelsea, with that win. So it was a tremendous win. Crystal Palace beat Southampton 1-0. Odsonne Edouard with the goal in a game which Crystal Palace had 44% possession and 12 attempts at goal to Southampton's 14. Southampton had 4 on target to 3 and lost the game 1-0. Palace are Palace are just a mid-table side, aren't they? That are trying to get better.
Yeah.
Southampton are a weird side because Ralph Hasenhüttl has been under pressure. There was large calls for him to be sacked a few weeks ago. Some stuff come out, players who'd left going, he's a terrible manager and this, that and the other, which I think's nonsense. But they haven't got enough goals in them after Southampton, and they're gonna...
Who does, though?
No, there is that. Don't get me wrong. There's about probably 14 teams in the Premier League who don't have enough goals in them. I just mean for Southampton, it's a worrying... I think it's worrying for them that they are losing games. The goals, they just aren't scoring enough goals. They're -9 already. I think they've only scored something like 11 goals this season. I know teams like Everton and other teams above haven't got much more. But if you're letting goals in, and this is an issue for Leicester City as well, by the way, although they do score a lot of goals, but they can't keep them out. For Southampton, it's gonna be trying to get those goals, isn't it? Get more out of Che Adams, maybe more out of Adam Armstrong.
Yeah, I think
Southampton
are what they are, aren't they? Again, they're just another club in the Premier League that just tumbles on, and I don't know what the expectations are of Southampton, or I don't know what the expectations are for anyone else of someone like Southampton or Crystal Palace for that matter. They go year by year. You know, there's no mega plan because you can't. It's very hard to have mega plans in the Premier League because someone just comes along from the outside and just rips them all up, takes your players, takes your manager, and it's really difficult. You've got to have belief in what you're doing is the right thing. I actually think the manager they've got now is the right person to have, because otherwise you're getting ideas of grandeur which everyone should have ambitions and everyone should have hopes and dreams, but I just think know where you are at that moment in time,
realistic,
and then just try and build on it, because they've brought a lot of young players in the summer who are going to take time to develop. So you know, and Palace were like that last season. Palace ended up having a decent season. So, and this is where we are, aren't we, as a league? It's so difficult.
Yeah, it is. One team who were flying out the moment, Newcastle United. Aston Villa had obviously had the sack Steven Gerrard bounce last week with a 4-0 home win, and went away to Newcastle and were pumped 4-0. You know, just looking at the stats there, 20 attempts at goal from Newcastle to 3 from Aston Villa. 60% possession, no shots on target for Villa, 7 for Newcastle, and scored 4 of them. Newcastle also with clinical work twice as well.
Clinical.
In that, it took a penalty to start it off in first half injury time, the handball. And then Joe Linton, Callum Wilson again, and Almiron with another left foot curler. So Newcastle flying. Eddie Howe's done a tremendous job there so far. Aston Villa, Emery is obviously in. Wasn't in at the weekend, was he, for that one, but he's in now. Got to get them. He'll get them organised, won't he? He's a good coach, and it's whether they buy in. I think we had a little chat about it last week, and you were saying it's the language thing. Will he buy into it? Will he be given the right amount of time? How will he be interpreted in terms of by the fans if it's not, if it doesn't go well quickly? I think sometimes with someone like Emery, who you know, we've been fans of before. Sevilla was very good, and at PSG, other people have shown it's difficult at PSG. Arsenal was so. But fantastic Villarreal. So we could argue Spain is his place, but this is his opportunity. But it's results, isn't it? He needs results just to calm everything down and then do his work.
He's going to have six weeks to train with players every single day. Get the shape, get the organisation. That's a huge boost for the coach. Huge. I think they play Man United this weekend, don't they? So it's not going to be easy for them.
Yeah, he's got a couple of tough games, and they come back with a couple of tough games.
So it's not going to be easy straight off the bat, but it's up to him to get them organised.
I think they've got United twice on the run. I think they've got United next week in the Carabao Cup as well.
So it's not going to be easy for them.
But they've got players at the top end of the pitch. Villa, they've got goals in them. Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins, Bailey's there. They've got Buendia, Coutinho, hot and cold. So they've got goals. It just needs the midfield organised, isn't it? Fulham 0, Everton 0.
Yeah, move on.
Another clean sheet for Everton. Fulham
doing well.
Durable 7th.
Yeah,
doing well. Marco Silva. First time they have failed to score at home this season. In fact, I think it's only the second game they failed to score in. So, well done, Everton, stopping them scoring, really. Virgil van Dijk lost his first ever Premier League home game at the weekend for Liverpool, which is an incredible feat. They were beaten 2-1 at home to Leeds United. Strange game, strange result.
Me and Ned were talking about Leeds last week, funny enough, on the show, and we were saying how everyone had them down for like doom and gloom, and Jesse Marsh, and he was just like, look at the table, and look at the points. They're one win away from being back in the mix, and this is the win. And okay, it's come from...
And they're a defeat away from being bottom of the
Of
league.
course, but that's the Premier League at the moment. There's no need to panic for anyone at the moment. No one's ever too far away.
No.
And they've got the win at the place you'd expect it at least. That's what happens in football, unless you're an Evertonian. That's what happens, and they've got a last-minute winner, and Liverpool just aren't anywhere near where they've been. No. And I think the first goal showed that, just how much chaotic, and Van Dijk looks like he's got his slippers on for the World Cup, and very, very strange football club. And yet in the Champions League, they've gone the same points as Napoli, beat Napoli at home, being flying, and in the Champions League, but in the Premier League, they're all over the gaff. So, but brilliant win for Leeds. Not 100% sure about Jesse Marsh's celebrations, but why not?
He's got to enjoy it. He's not had many wins, so let him enjoy it. You know, last minute at Anfield, it's a great result. Not a decent result, it's a fantastic result. But the goals are great. I mean, the first goal, what the hell, what Alisson's doing is beyond me. Joe Gomez with the no-look back, no-look back pass.
Liverpool just looked, I don't know, they just looked tired. Like mentally fatigued.
They had 70% possession. They had 22 attempts at goal and 10 on target.
Yeah, Leeds' goalie was great.
Leeds had 14 and 6 on target.
But in those big moments, Liverpool just look off.
Yeah. No, they do. They just lost to 2 teams in the bottom 3 within a week. So that Liverpool don't really do. They tended not to do that regularly, haven't they, over the last 5 or 6 years? So that, Forest bottom of the league last week beat them. Leeds in the bottom 3 on Saturday beat them. In fact, Leeds...
They took 3 points Leeds out of the last 12, and that was against Manchester City.
Yeah. So that says it all, doesn't it? If that... Nothing sums Liverpool up like that sentence, what you just said. But Chrysenio, Somerville, with the winner.
Jimmy's lad.
Good. He's good. If you watch the Leeds Academy thing, he's in it a lot. He's a good little player. But it was a well-taken goal, and tremendous for all those Leeds fans who were in the Annie Road.
Except that one, who everyone knows who he is, except him.
Okay.
Who's been banned.
Okay, yeah. Arsenal beat Forest 5-0 on Sunday. Took Zach to the Emirates on Saturday just to have a look around for the Fulham game. Yeah. And he was like, when are they playing? And I said, tomorrow, Forest. He went to 5-0. I was like...
A game that was on at 2 o'clock on Sunday and was not on TV in the UK, and neither was any other game. No.
Interesting.
No, because they've run out of spots. Liverpool had grabbed the last spot.
The whole thing's like, the broadcasting in this country is pathetic. It really is pathetic.
Yeah. So pathetic. So basically, they'd wedged Liverpool in at 7:45 Saturday night. That meant Arsenal couldn't be on Sunday because there's only so many spots. That's bollocks. It's nonsense.
Every game should be available.
Every game should be available.
And there should be none of this 3 o'clock bollocks either.
Every game should be available.
Show live games on Saturday at 3. Should be able to.
Every game should be available.
Every game. It's 2022. You should be able to go on.
It's nearly 2023.
It is. God, I forgot. But Forest, Martinelli with a good goal. Reece Nelson, who spent last season on loan at Feyenoord with a brace. Thomas Partey with a very similar goal to the one he scored against Spurs. Should he be playing? Don't know. And Martin Odegaard with a goal as well. So 5-0 Forest spanked.
So Arsenal back top of the league.
Flying.
Unbelievable.
Their 10th win in 12 Premier League matches. Outstanding. Manchester United, we were talking before about players who've made an impact. Sandro Martinez come in and another clean sheet for United.
I never knew there could be people called Sandro who would be good at football.
Lissandro, that's why. And Martin.
No, flying Andy, another. West Ham were unlucky, had some, or they missed some big chances late on. But and also,
De Gea made three
why
really good saves.
why were they in Blackpool's kit? Why were they in Blackpool's kit? I switched it on and literally I thought it was like, Premier League like hits where they show old games.
Yeah.
I was like, where's Charlie Adam? Why isn't he running through midfield? Well, not
Brett Ormerod.
not running through midfield. Jogging.
Just
they were
walking
white
through
and
midfield.
orange.
That was weird, wasn't it?
What was all that about?
They were just shy of DJ Campbell and Brett.
But tell you what
Ormerod.
though, boss header by Rashford. Proper
Oh, it was a
old
tremendous header.
school
Great cross.
header, like
And a
bang right
brilliant-
through the
yeah,
goalie.
yeah,
No
no
messing. Loved that.
Tremendous.
Loved it. He's coming into a bit of form ahead
He
of that
is.
World Cup.
He is. And David De Gea made 3 brilliant saves at the end.
Who is not in
the
Spain's
Spanish,
55,
which
means
That's
Spain
it.
must have the greatest goalies in the world.
Exactly. It's a bit of a mad one, isn't it? So, so Arsenal top of the Premier League, 31 points in 12 games. Manchester City 29 from 12. Then comes Spurs with 26 from 13, averaging 2 a game. Newcastle in 4th with 24 from 13. Then Manchester United, who people are totally written off, have got 23 from 12. If they won the game in hand, would go level with Spurs. Chelsea 21 from 12. At the bottom, Forest 9 from 13 and a minus 20 goal difference at the moment. Wolves have got 10 points from 13 games. Leicester City 11 from 13. So, there you go. That is it for another week of Premier League show. We will be back next week.
Check out the playlist
So, yeah.
over on 888 Sports YouTube channel.
Do we?
Leave a comment. Tell them we sent you. And make sure the answer is James Tarkowski to the question.
Gotta be. He's had the most
Gotta
impact.
be.
In fact, throw 2 in. Throw him and Connor Cody.
Yeah.
Just say to them
Well,
two.
I didn't want to put Connor Cody because he's not formally an Everton player.
He's not fully in Everton.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
not formally an Everton player.
Well, he's not. No, he's just come. Just put James
No,
Tarkowski.
you're saying I'm saying formally. Formally.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know. He's
Okay.
currently an Everton player. Not formally.
No, you're in the wrong... Doesn't matter. Let's move on. See you later. Bye.
Tarkowski's the answer. See you later. Bye.